Though we are many people, different tribes, different tongues, we're united in our strength and resolve to uphold the honor of our land and for generations to come, and for generations to come. We'll defend our land. We believe in this nation, and we know we'll get there. Please, let's start wrapping up on the tea break. Let's all settle down so we can continue. Tea break is over. Please, let's settle down so we can continue. Thank you very much.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, please let's settle down. It's 11 o'clock and we need to move on. Okay, so tell Dr. Oga to draft it. Then we will now give them the same words and they will now. Please let's come to our seats. Let's sit down, please. If there are people outside, please let's ask them to come inside, please. Emmanuel, I beg, help me check there. If there are people, please let them come in, please. Thank you. Bros, are there people outside, delegates? Please let them come inside. Come first. Tell Asma the doctor, the man is not around. But when he comes back, he will meet with her. Okay. So if she doesn't mind, let her come into the call. Okay. And then I already told him that she wants to speak with you. And when he comes back, he will meet with her. Okay. Let her come in. Yeah? Okay.
Your mic is facing me.
Once again, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, new Nigerians. I greet you all. I am very, very sure that I am not the only one who knows that something significant, something historical, something unprecedented is happening. Can I get a witness in the house? You know, I can assure you what is going on right now is something that has never ever happened before. I guarantee that. And in the days, the weeks, the months, and the years ahead, you will see physical evidence of what we have triggered in this very place. Something truly, truly significant has begun to happen. And as we go to what we're can I have your attention, please? Hello? Can I have your attention, please? You know, when you're talking to someone, the person is looking at their phone, you know you don't have their attention. Let me have your attention. This is too important for us to trifle with. It's too important. You know, if you understand what's going on, the fate of humanity is depending on what we're doing here. Because if we get it right in Nigeria, it will affect the whole world. You get what I'm saying? This is no joke. This is fundamental. This is something eternity has dreamt about for a long time. This is something that eternity has set in place. And when we recognize it, when a tsunami happens, right? Everybody knows that a tsunami has already happened. You can't ignore the consequences of a tsunami, right? But how many of you know that when a tsunami begins, nobody knows it? It's totally insignificant. And that's what is happening here. What we have triggered here is a tsunami that will have local, national, global impact and significances. Humanity will never be the same again because of what is happening here. You know what? When I was talking to you yesterday morning about the power of the yeast, I was not just talking gist. When we were talking about the power of representative action and responsibility, that is a principle that nobody can gainsay. So this next phase we are going on to, it's one of the most powerful aspects of this whole summit. And I want us to treat it with the highest sense of responsibility, with the highest sense of solemnity, with the highest, deepest sense of consciousness that we are creating history. Let's not trifle with it. How many of you will like what is going on right now to continue to happen? The killing, the vengeance, the destruction. Nobody wants that. But supposing I tell you that what we're doing here, I can stop it. Hello? Supposing I tell you that what we're doing here, I can stop all the wickedness, the evil, the vengeance, the killing, and all of that stuff. We don't want it. And we have the power to do something about it. You know what we're doing? Why we're doing? Because we got tired of sitting down, grumbling, and complaining. Like Dibem said, citizens have power. But when you don't understand it, you abdicate your power because you grumble, because you complain, because you think the solution is in the hands and the power of somebody else apart from you. That's the easiest way to deny yourself of the power that you have. So let's do this, people. Let's do this for all of Nigeria. Let's do it for Africa. Let's do it for humanity. Do I have your agreement? Thank you. All right, a few announcements before we kick off. Please put on your face masks. Let's fulfill all righteousness. This thing is being live streamed, all over. People are seeing it all over the world. Number 2, please take out your phones now. This time you're free. Look at your phone. Take out your phone. All right, if you go to the group you belong to, I posted 2 links there. Just go to your group. There are 2 links. One for Facebook, one for YouTube. One after the other. We have just a few minutes to do this. whichever one you want to go to first, whether you go to YouTube first or Facebook, go to your Facebook or YouTube, like and share. Share to as many groups as possible, as many people as possible. We have 3 minutes to do that. Everybody knows what to do, right? Yeah, this is the social media generation. Please, let's do that. When you're done, just say weapon, something, so I know that we've done that. I hope everybody knows what to do. If you have any question, just raise your hand and somebody will attend to you. Lugard will help you out. Abdul. 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 Okay, Chris, come. These people. Are we done? Today's session is packed. Later on in the day, we're going to have a drama. Drama people that will take place about 4:10 p.m. So, in case I forget to remind you, it's about that time it will take place, so you can do your final arrangements and preparation. Then we're going to cut a cake later on in the day, National Reconciliation Cake. That's part of what we have lined up for. Okay. From your program, you know that we are now about to go into the crux of the matter. This is the cocoa. It's time for us to express our apologies to one another. And like we did yesterday, we're going to go turn by turn. And this is the reason why we're here. And that's why I asked you to share these links on your social media so that the whole world will see what we're doing here. That we are intentionally, deliberately, thoughtfully expressing apology to one another on behalf of all of us for the different ways we have hurt and offended one another. The world will never be the same again. Never. The world will never be the same again. All right, so we're going to go turn by turn. And I guess that the heads, whoever will be presenting on behalf of their group, I guess that you are ready. All right, Chris, 1 second, please. Chris, 1 second. In the audience. Okay. Um, this time around, we're going to do it a little bit differently. So when we announce the group to come forward, please, every member of the group should come forward here, not just the person who will present on your behalf. So you stand behind him or beside him or her as that person is making the apology on behalf of that group, right? And when they have finished expressing their apology, we in the audience, we are going to what? Express what? Acceptance of their apology, and we're going to say to them, we forgive you for what you have done to us. All right? So to make it simple, let's do some. Sorry, 1 second. So let's say this together. We accept your apology. All together, please. And we forgive you. Okay, 1, 2, go. Once again. We accept your apology and we forgive you. And I don't want us to say it flippantly or offhandedly. Let's say it, you know, let's say it with every sense of solemnity. All right, so let's go again. We accept your apology and we forgive you. One more time. We accept, not too fast, not too fast. We accept your apology and we forgive you. All right. This time, emotions, don't rein in your emotions, right? You know, this is a serious matter, and allow your emotions free expression. All right. We're going to start with the Southwest group. Please come forward. You know, Southwest group. Where are the other members of the Southwest group? Please come forward together with him. No, sorry. No, sorry, don't clap. Sorry. Just come forward. Come up stage. All right.
Good morning, everyone. Fellow compatriots, good morning, members of the New Nigeria. We appreciate the efforts from the Southwest. We appreciate the effort that has gone into putting this historical program together. Actually, I think the organizer peeped into our plan as Southwest that we are going to do this. Please, want to crave the indulgence of any other Southwestern part that's in the congregation there. Please, we like such a person to be on his or her feet, please. Please, if you are from the Southwest, we appreciate. You may not join us here, you may just be on your feet. Okay, thank you very much. Apology and forgiveness. As compatriots of the New Nigeria, representing the interests of fellow compatriots from the Southwest, we stand to seek the healing of past wounds, pains, and hurts that we could have caused our brothers and sisters from other regions, so that the labors of our heroes past and real heroines will not be in vain. So this is the modality we want to adopt. As I read the apology out, our fellow compatriots will be echoing, "We are sorry." And the fellow compatriots from the Southwest too, you will join us as we say that as well. Thank you. We, as a Southwest representative, in the spirit of the New Nigeria, apologize to our brothers and sisters for whatever pain or hurt that we could have caused knowingly and unknowingly in the pre-independence, post-independence, during civil wars, and even as we are talking at the moment. We are sorry.
We are sorry.
We equally apologize for falling short of the expectations of other regions. Each time we've had the opportunity to assume leadership position both in private and public sector.
We are sorry.
Lastly, we apologize for seeing ourselves first as Southwest and pursuing such agenda at the expense of a united Nigeria that is founded on the dream of our founding fathers.
We are sorry. So take a bow.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. That has to do with the old Nigeria. It's sad that something like this can be going on, and some other people will be doing something that is totally inimical with what we're trying to achieve. It's heartbreaking. I'll save you the details so that we can go on, so that nothing will interfere with what we have set our hearts to do. It's sad, but that gives us greater boldness and courage and strength to keep on doing what we said we will do, because this nation must change. Sorry about that. This is the first time we're doing something like this. And you know, when you're doing something for the first time, there are issues. All right. Thank you very much, Southwest Group. I was distracted. I didn't hear the apology, but I'm sure you already responded on our behalf. All right. The next group, all of you, please come forward. The South Group, please come forward. And when they have finished issuing their apology, please, I would like us in the audience to all stand up and respond together. Is that okay? All right. South.
Good morning, our fellow Nigerians. We are from South. When brothers fight over their properties, they both die, and a total stranger take over their inheritance. Nigeria, please, let's stop the fighting. My pain may be the reason for somebody's laugh, but my laugh must not be the reason for somebody's pain. That's the trouble with the world. We are all the spies of ourselves. Pains have deep roots, and the only way to purge it out is by forgiveness and letting go. Nigeria, we forgive you. We live in a glass house where we need not to throw stones, because the creation of stone we cannot control. We will never find a rainbow if we are all looking down. So, to truly laugh, we must be able to take our pain and play with it. Nigeria, we ask, forgive from you. For those whom we have killed and those who have killed us, please forgive us, because we are ready to forgive. You will find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. Nigeria, let's share this love again. Forgiveness is freedom. Forgiveness is a choice. We deserve peace. Again, I am you, and you are me. Let's make the new Nigeria happen. Because we from the South, we believe in it. Our brothers and sisters from every other zone of Nigeria, please believe in it. We should show the world we believe in it. Imagination means nothing without doing. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We are sorry. Please forgive us as we forgive you. Thank you.
Hello, let's do it together. 1, 2, go. Amen. Please, no side comments. I rebuke that. No side comments, please. Please, while we're doing this, let there be no movement. Please, this is a very solemn occasion. Ushers, please stand by the door. No movement while this is going on. If somebody wants to come in right now, let them come in, please. Okay, the northeast, please. Please, let's wait patiently for Hajia. Um, when I see things like this, it gives me hope in the new Nigeria. This lady came in yesterday night, and because of traveling, she came all the way from Borno, Maiduguri, and because of the effects of the trip on her, she has pains in her leg, and she's, walking with difficulty.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Good morning, everybody here. I'm Hajarat Abdul Hamid by name, Borno State Coordinator. We are all here in order to seek for forgiveness from you all for what we have done, directly or indirectly. So before I go further, I would like to give you the meaning of forgiveness. Forgiveness means different thing to different people. Psychologists generally define forgiveness as a conscious, deliberate decision to release feelings. Generally, forgiveness, however, it involves a decision to let go of resentment and thought of revenge. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or making up with the person who caused the harm. We have 4 stages of forgiveness. Uncover your anger. Decide to forgive. Work on forgiveness. Release from emotional prison. So, on behalf of the entire Northeast people, we are hereby seeking for your forgiveness for the cause and grievances made by the insurgents in our regions. I hope our forgiveness will be accepted. Thank you so much.
Okay, let's go ahead. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, Northwest group, please start coming. After Northwest, it will be the Southeast, so get ready. As they are going down, you can start coming up. Please, can I have another mic here?
Good morning, everyone. I want to start with a quote that says, people generally are of two types. Either they are your brothers in faith, or they are your equal in humanity. There is no any other third person. It's either the people near you, in your area, in your locality, wherever you are. It's either you are brothers by faith, or you are equal in humanity. And this spell that we have common grievances. Today we are to tendering apology is for everybody that he is apologizing sincerely from his heart, so that the person that he's going to tender apology to will be sincere in accepting of his apology. And I want everybody here to know that it is right, it is time that our imams, our pastors that used to preach against violation, to start to tell them that we are not after that. Because a Christian, if you are a Christian, you know, we have so many courts, biblical courts, that preach peace. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of what? God. We should be all holy. We should be holy. Wherever there is killing, we expect the ambassadors in this hall to reject it in totality, irrespective of who is being killed. And because that is the genesis. When you see somebody is being killed, you fold your arms because it's not your brother. Tomorrow, it can be yours. Yesterday, we had Henry saying, if you kill my 10 people, tomorrow I kill your 20. Next tomorrow, where are we going? So I just want to tell us that what we are saying, new Nigeria is going to be born. No, new Nigeria was born yesterday. Yes, new Nigeria was born yesterday. And we know how we take care of our child when he's born or she's born. We have to, tender, show love, whatever. That is how we are going to nurture this and to make this reality. Yes. So, lastly, I want to just tell us that a quote by Plato that says, if you do not take an interest in the affairs of your government, then you are doomed to live under the rule of fools. So we have to take interest. I want to see a Nigeria whereby we are going to say, look, sir, we want you to become our chairman. Whether you like it or not, people represent, you are to be their representative. Now what we have, people go helter-skelter to seek for your, why? Let the people, we all know the good ones among us. It is right time now for us to start to go. It's the people that will go and nurture somebody to come and what? Lead them. If you just sit down thinking things will just overnight become a reality, no. We have to start somewhere. And I expect each one of us, when we go back home now, let those people that are waiting to see what we bring, let them see that we brought back love, peace, and humanity. Yes. So that when my people go back tomorrow in the morning, they will see a new person that show love. This Muslim and Christian. For Muslim, we are the most hygienic people, because when we go to toilet, we wash. When we want to pray, we wash our hands, we wash our face. The Christian also, we are going to learn a lot. We learn love, the way you treat your wife, marriage counseling. We don't normally have those ones in the Islam, though there is. But when somebody already have a ready-made what solution? In terms of hygienic, we have a ready-made solution. In terms of the way to handle your wife, treat her like your friend, just because you married doesn't mean love stop there. It continues. Yes. So we can learn from each other. So that tomorrow we will see that, I will go to Leslie in his house, take my lunch. I used to have friends like that. Henry, like, for example, my home is always open for him. He knows that. You understand? So we have a lot of friends that are not Christian, that are not our faith, but we treat them with open minds and sincere open minds. So lastly, sorry, I took much time. I debate a little from the norms. So now I want to go for the apology statement. We, the people of Northwest representatives, hereby tender our sincere apology to all those that were offended from the anomalies by our fast. It is not our making, it is the fools one among us that they continue because they are not happy. They are not happy. But we say enough is enough. We have to take responsibility of our actions. Yes, we are not ready to continue hurting ourselves. So please, we want to tender our sincere apology. And we hope you will forgive us. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Okay, let's respond. Thank you. You may take your seats. Thank you. Southeast, please come forward. After Southeast, North Central, get ready. North Central, Middle Belt, get ready.
Good morning, everyone. Please, if you're from Southeast and you're not in this group but you're there, please can you stand up? Because we'll be apologizing on behalf of all the southeastern states. Thank you. All right. Firstly, we forgive ourselves for all the hurt and dismay we carry from our generational past leaders to these present ones in our hearts. And we put out that same hatred into the public. And we assure you people that we see the next person as human first and than an indigene of other region. We apologized for the first coup that took place in 1966 that was headed with then Easterner, which bettered to the 1967 war. And these new Nigerians, we have promised to keep clean hands and straight head, stand out, and be different in using good measures, live by examples, live right, and do right. We, the new Nigerians, sincerely apologize for fostering and posing as threats to the national integration, the act of dismissing the unity in our own diversities. disrupting the national peace and oneness. We promise to uphold the true purpose of existence of Nigeria, which is a nation and society where national diversities are seamlessly united in the basis of human equality, love, societal progress, and decency. A strong, clear, and visible reference point, zero discrimination, remedy for all Africans' deprivation, and pioneers for global harmony. In this note, we are all identify ourselves now as the new Nigerians. We stay away from all the oaths from the old Nigerian. We apologize for instituting retaliation approach. Just like the common saying, two wrongs can never make a right. We cannot intentionally classify it either by retaliation of self-defense or wrongful retaliation. A retaliation is a retaliation in itself. That other region, individuals, and one business or the other have suffered through the method of approach we've bestowed upon them in our own region, especially the ones the ones that have suffered socially, economically, through our own action, in charge of taking responsibilities for things that were beyond our own controls. We lay down our guards. We forgive ourselves at this point already. In this note, we are ensuring our fellow cosmic citizens of New Nigeria that we have cleared the field that trusts. In trusting, we are going into partnership with you all, approach new awards for the merit point, uphold honesty, and anchor honor to whom honor is due to, cut accolades to deserving citizens accordingly, regardless from where you're coming from, who you are, what you do. If you merit it, we give it to you. We embrace dialogue, reject all forms of assumptions, drop our sticks and guns, lay low our guards for love to reign. We assure you all that this time we will be more considerate and intentional in all our dealings, be empathetic with all our approaches, handling the other citizen. We promise to unlearn all the thoughts orientations from the decayed ex-leaders and learn how to be a conscious citizen, all engaging in personal, mental, and social sensitization. Because the change begins with me. It begins with you. It begins with you. It begins with you. It begins with you. So we are going to be conscious of that from henceforth. We intend to raise a high moral standard, be productive, educative, make research in our own, from other developed countries, make it a perfect and emulate and practice those same things we've learned to push this new Nigeria forward. Enough is enough. We are here together. We are in this together. This motto is here to stay. Finally, we apologize for all the stereotyping. Honestly, we never knew the effects of stereotyping, especially the stereotyping to the Northerners, just like my fellow Northern brother mentioned. We are sorry. You are not aboki to derogate you. No. We are here saying that you are aboki, my friend, my brother, the one I can do business with, the one I can trust, and you can trust me with. Kai aboki na. You are not aboki because we feel you are a shoemaker. No, you are a maker. No, you are my aboki. You are my friend. And for the Westerners, we are really sorry. You are not Ofe Manu to Yabin, you know. You are Ofe Manu because I love eating your Ofe. Your soup tastes good for me. And we are here to promise you that these new Nigerians here, we are here to show you and assure you that this is a changed citizens. We are cosmic citizens. We are human first before Nigerian, then we can associate ourselves as Igbos. We are really sorry. And we grieve so much for change. And as I said initially, it begins with me, it begins with all of us here. Long live new Nigerian. Long live weapon. We are truly sorry, and we hope you accept our apologies. Thank you.
Okay, let's respond. Amen.
Thank you all.
Thank you. All right, middle belt, North Central middle belt, please come forward.
A very good morning to you all. My name is Yusuf Abdullahi from New Nigeria. Before we go into a few wordings in order to express our apologies as well as forgiveness, I really will like us to all know that forgiveness and apologies shouldn't just come from us to you. Because at some point in time, we all fight battles deep within us, our individual selves. So we as well need to forgive our own selves too. Going further, I would like to start with some few quotes. This one comes from an anonymous source. It says, happiness is not a package we receive in the mail, either by design or fortune. Nor is it a degree conferred on us as a diploma. It is rather the feeling of the moment. If we harvest well what that moment has to offer and resolve to make the best of it. It is also when we shove aside despair, worry, fear, hatred, envy, and other negative emotions that often preoccupy our thoughts. Another quote. Dr. Chukuma, yesterday in his submissions, he made mention that no tribe, religion, or to a larger extent, a geographical group that has monopoly over violence, bad leadership, and or other negative vices. We all, or we, from the North Central region, were part of the problem. And now, we want to be part of the solution. Also yesterday, Dr. Henry, in his submission, he stated, and I quote, "Forgiveness is freedom. Hence, the need for us all to free ourselves of the burden of hatred, envy, despair, and other negative vices. With this, on behalf of the entire North Central region of New Nigeria, we wholeheartedly apologize to all other regions for all our crimes and any other way we might have offended you. And we also would like to categorically state here that we have also forgiven you all. A quote in conclusion from a journalist, Charles M. Blau. He says, one doesn't have to operate with great malice to do great harm. The absence of empathy and understanding are sufficient. Not just us here, but also to our leaders, past and present. To whoever is going to hear this or see this, all over the world, irrespective of tribe, religion, geographical location, or your race. To the children living in hunger, dying of hunger, and diseases of all sorts. On behalf, once again, of North Central Nigeria, we say, we are sorry, deeply sorry. Forgive us, please. Thank you.
Let's respond, please. Okay, the youth, please. Before we go into our apologies, please just pick your program and look at the map of Nigeria that is being drawn. Look at the pictorial graphics on it and ask yourself if we are happy in this country. I heard presentations from different groups and I was truly perturbed. As youth, we cut across borders. We're Christians, we're Muslims, we're from the south, we're from the east, we're from the north. And I've often said that in this country, when a Muslim dies, a Christian celebrates. When a Christian dies, a Muslim celebrates. We only cry when we are victims and we don't tell ourselves the truth that we are perpetrators of an act. My name is Nathaniel Zakaria. I'm a Zarman from the beautiful hills of the Black City that produced the first Prime Minister, Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa. And I'll be speaking on behalf of the Nigerian youth that are standing here and those of you that are within this auditorium and outside. It is common knowledge that you first remove the speck in your eye before you remove that of another person. I believe that a peaceful Nigeria is possible only if you agree that you are wrong, accept that you are wrong,
and ask for forgiveness. True forgiveness comes from acknowledging this fact. However, it is pitiable that a number of youths have contributed to the dismay of this country. No doubt, Nigerian youth have contributed a fair share to the ills and grievances that surround this nation. This we have done by actively becoming thugs during elections, becoming armed robbers, engaging in kidnapping, communal clashes, and actively being fooled by religious leaders to cause havoc in our communities. Indeed, we are in a crossroad, a step forward and 3 steps backward. An unimaginable situation better imagined than seen. Nothing is practically and rationally functioning in this country. We celebrate ill wealth, especially as youth, and encourage government thieves, thus even thrown chieftaincy titles on them. Our judicial system protects rich thieves and gruesomely punish the poor. A man will steal a goat and will go to prison. But however, we see our elites embezzle funds in billions and trillions, yet got scot-free, and we shout like in Hausa, we say, Rankadede. Change will only come if the entire Nigerian youth will agree to first change our mindset and ideology. There is no much that could be achieved and done until we have a renewed mindset that we are wrong and we should go the right way. We must also agree to be patriotic citizens. That is one key thing that we must all agree to do. We must change the reorientation of our values until we agree that everybody is a human being and does not deserve to die because of an election, because he chooses a different religion, or because that person has money, therefore you must steal from him. Dr. Henry Chudubem said this morning, he said, in the new Nigeria, getting money is not a crime, but get it legitimately. Today, we are so overwhelmed by fakeness, especially as youth in this country, and we have pushed the younger generation into cyber crimes, armed robbery, and what have you. Our crimes as youth is to first tell you where we have hurt and have also been hurting. You seated here from the South, West, Christians and Muslims, you have also hurt us. You have changed our mentalities to only believe and not think. You make us believe that anybody that is not a Christian should die. Anybody that is not a Muslim should die. Anybody that is not from the South is not my brother. Anybody that is not from the North is not my sister. Why? Why? We are sorry because we've hurt you. And you need to tell us sorry because you've hurt us too. That is the only way we can reconcile. We are bitter. Our institutions are so poor because some of you leaders from the South, North have decided to allow poor citizens like me and them to go to institutions and graduate for 10 years while it was written that it's a 4-year course. Those of you from the North Central and from the South, you have only turned us to be Agberos. We have no good in the land. We are just to park passengers in buses, fight on the streets, beg for bread. Why? Those of you from across borders, you said we are not worthy of employment into certain parastatals until we have somebody. Why? This is our heart. We are angry. But because we believe in the new Nigeria, we are here to say, on behalf of every Nigerian youth, that we are sorry. Those of you from the South and the West and the North, in security, as security officials, when we ask for our rights, they send you to us to shoot us. You shot our brothers and sisters at the Lekki toll gate. What wrong did they commit? Is it a crime to ask for your right in this country? You from across borders have hurt the Nigerian youth. Deeply, we are pained by what is happening. But for a new Nigeria, your mindset and values must be changed. Ours have changed. And that is why collectively, we are rendering an unreserved apology to the nation, to all of you seated here, whoever and whatever you represent. We first see you as human beings before whatever name you call yourselves. And so therefore we say, we are sorry.
Please let's respond. Stand up and respond. Thank you. Okay, the women now. Let's have the women.
A heavily pregnant woman is being beaten by her husband, and she says, Daddy, you know I'm pregnant, and in my condition, you are beating me. I know it's because of my stubbornness, but it's better you beat me when I'm not pregnant. And it's shocking to feel that she feels it's normal to be beaten even if she's not pregnant. We apologize to the younger generation of kids, boys and girls who have lived in families where abuse is seen as a norm. We apologize to younger girls who are giving out in marriage at a tender age and their mothers fold their hands and they have nothing to say about that. We apologize to girls who have faced rape and when they come back home to seek for solace, their fathers beat them up because they feel they seduced the men who abused them. We apologize on behalf of those girls. We also apologize to women who have faced negative traditional practices. Young girls are being mutilated by older women who also face the same pain when they were young. And they are still the same people who inflict pain on these young girls. We apologize on their behalf. We have women who are widows and their possessions are taken away from them. And fellow women also shave their hair. We apologize on behalf of those women. We also see that a lot of people feel that women do not support women. And if you're a girl, you had a female supervisor, you probably know what I feel. Young women look for mentors in older women, and at times these older women feel that they are being threatened. We apologize on behalf of them. We also have men who have been accused falsely of rape by women, and at times they commit suicide. We also apologize on their behalf. We forgive the few men who have abused and marginalized women, and we also forgive women who have allowed themselves to be used as tools against their fellow women. We're forgiving you. Please accept our apologies, and we look for a way to move forward.
All right, let's stand to our feet and let's respond, please. All right. Thank you very much. You may take your seats. All right, we are supposed to take public servants, government, politicians, but we will move on to the other two for now. We'll take that later. So let's have the Christians group. Please come forward. The Christians.
Good morning, fellow new Nigerians. They said a journey of 1,000 kilometers begins with a step. We are standing here on behalf of all Nigerian Christians to tell you that we have stayed too long in captivity. Even as Christians in Nigeria, we are here to say sorry for whatever reason. Assuming you have a handset that has Glow and MTN, you don't throw away your handset because MTN is not working. You cannot lose your handset because Glow is not working. Therefore, as Nigerians and Christians in Nigeria, we pray for our brothers and sisters in captivity, especially Leah Sheribu, who has been there in captivity for clinging to her faith. We pray because of her, all who are in captivity, not only Christians, but every Nigerian that is suffering because he's a Nigerian, wherever he is, that God will touch their hearts and they shall release all of these people without ransom. We'll go straight to our apology.
Good morning, New Nigeria. We as Christians, we are here to say sorry in whichever way we might have wronged the entire Nigeria. First, I'm going to start by Bible quote in Jonah chapter 1, verse 1. You go down. The story of Jonah in the belly of fish. When Jonah disobeyed God. And when God sent Jonah, he refused to go. He disobeyed God's commandment. When he was traveling through a boat, the fish swallowed Jonah. When the fish swallowed Jonah, he spent 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of fish. He was praying and asking God for forgiveness. Then God forgives Jonah and gave Jonah a second chance. We are Christians and we believe in second chance. And when you look into the book of Romans chapter 3, verse 23, it said, for all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. We are all sinners. And we are here to say sorry in whichever way we are from Nigerians. We are all humans. As such, in whichever way we must have wronged our brethren of the same and different faith, we humble ourselves as Christians of the new Nigerian dream and sorry from the depth of our heart. We pray to see a new Nigeria that is devoid of hate, terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, etc. However, we still have faith that as a people, we shall soon get it right. As fellow countrymen and women, either by emission or commission, we pray that the good Lord in his infinite mercy will grant us all the strength we need to understand and tolerate each other as respect to one another, irrespective of our religion differences from the good of our new dream for the sake of the project that is before us. Long live all Christians, long live Weapon, long live new Nigerian of our dream. Thank you. As Christians, we're here to apologize to the entire Nigeria for all the wrongs we might have done. Hope our apologies will be accepted.
All right, please, let's respond. Thank you very much. All right, let's have our Muslim brothers please come forward.
So I hope I would get a resounding response if I say, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Reason being that it has been established yesterday that that statement does not connote anything that has to do with terrorism. Rather, it is the exchange or the expression of peace, which is meant to mean peace be upon you. So I expect that we respond by saying wa alaikum salam, which means and on you too. All right, on behalf of all Muslims, all Nigerian Muslims, we are here to appeal to your sense of pardon. As people of religion, we understand the role religion play in our lives. So we do not underestimate this power. For the misdemeanor of the tiny fraction amongst the Muslims who have over time represented us in the bad light by killing other people of other faiths, by engaging in any act that is directly against even the concept of Islam, we are sorry. For every time a Muslim prioritize the religion over meritocracy and embrace someone because they are from his faith, even though they are not competent, we are sorry. I want us to understand something, that forgiveness of a thing is not necessarily a religious element. It is a mental health requirement, which means if we really want to be happy, within the heart of our heart, we have to forgive ourselves. Do we agree? Yeah. Right, moving forward, our dream for New Nigeria is to ensure that we make the rest of our lives the best of our lives. Do we still agree? Yes. Now, for that fact, it is expedient that we begin to clean up our closets as individuals and as collective people of New Nigeria, well-meaning Nigeria. We are sorry for everything, for all the wrongs that we have caused you in a way or the other, or for not wanting to identify with you as a human being, but as your religion. The truth is, if we cannot see ourselves in each other, the journey ends here. We are going no further, right? So if that is the case, I hope that sincerely from the heart of our heart, we would accept this apology. And I want to establish again that Islam, I don't know how it is being portrayed on social media or how we read it in the paper or in the dailies or wherever we get to hear about Islam, but Islam in any way does not support terrorism. Islam in any manner does not support any act of indecency or any act of rebellion. And I would quote a Quranic verse to serve as a backup for this claim. How? Apologies to the non-Muslims in the house. It's not that I cannot quote a Bible verse, but by the configuration of these settings, I'm a Muslim, and I would quote from the constitution of the Muslim, which is the Quran. Allah says in Quran, chapter 16, verse 90, بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون, which I would translate to mean that Allah commands justice. It commands doing good to kings and kids. It commands, Allah forbids any act of indecency, evil, or act of rebellion. And this admonition comes from Allah so that we can accept or receive admonition, which means anything that is different from what Allah has commanded in the Quran is the machinations of some humans who, in a way, identify themselves to be Muslim. But still and still, we are sorry. We hope that you all accept these apologies and we all live together in one accord and in harmony. Thank you very much. We are sorry once again.
Thank you. All right, let's respond. Thank you very much. All right, we're now going to go to the final group. And before I invite them, I want to say a few things. In your folder, in your program, this group is public servants, but it is actually more than that. This group represents government, politicians, civil servants, and also parents. You know, so when the youth man, the person who was speaking on the behalf of the youth, was asking that he wanted an apology from the parents, he was actually jumping the gun because he already made that provision. You know, so this is the smallest group. When they come up, you see that in this entire procedures, they've been the smallest group. But before I invite them, the person who will speak the apology on their behalf, we want to let you know who he is so that you know that he is qualified to do what he wants to do today. Because you all agree with me that the biggest group or sector that has offended Nigerians the most is the government. Am I right? All right. So this man is eminently qualified to do what he's about to do. Well, let me tell you a little bit about who he is. All right. His name is Dr. Samuel Danjuma Gani. He has served in different capacities. He's above 80. He 82, sir. 82 years old. He has been with us since yesterday morning. Dr. Samuel Danjuma Gani has served in different capacities at state and federal government levels. He attained the position of Administrative Secretary in the Native Authority Service. He served the Northern Nigerian government before the creation of states. Following the creation of states, he transferred his services from the Federal Civil Service to the Benue Plateau State Civil Service. He rose to the position of Permanent Secretary in the then Benue Plateau Civil Service. At the creation of Gongola State, his services were once more transferred, where he also served as Permanent Secretary. In both states, that's Benue Plateau State and Gongola State, he served as Permanent Secretary in the Ministries of Local Government, Works, Land and Survey, Industries, Internal Affairs and Information, Education, and Establishment, where he made marks in the sands of time. He later transferred his services back to the Federal Civil Service as Secretary for Information, Parastatus, and Director of Budget and Secretary, Cabinet Budget Committee, headed by the late former Vice President, Alex Ikweme. He later became the Director of Foreign Exchange, then Secretary for Transport and Aviation in charge of 11 parastatals, including Nigerian Ports Authority, Nigerian Airways, Nigerian Railways, Nigerian National Shipping Line, Maritime Authority, which is now known as the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA. He retired from the civil service and went into politics and became the first deputy governor of Taraba State. Now, this is where you need to listen to. As a top government official, civil servant, and politician, Dr. Gani served and discharged all his duties and responsibilities with the highest levels of integrity, honor, patriotism, excellence, and diligence. If we have more people like him in the civil service, in government and politics, Nigeria will be totally different. It was in recognition of these sterling qualities that the then president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that led the then president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to bestow on him, first of all, the member of the Order of Niger, MON, and then the commander of the Order of the Niger, CON. Presently, he serves as a trustee of a Christian Reformed Church, Nigeria. He's also a member of the National Christian Elders Forum. Dr. Gani is also the chairman, board of trustees, Kwara Rafa University, Wukari, Taraba State, which is the first community-based university in Nigeria. Kwara Rafa University was licensed by the federal government in 2005. He and his wife, Mrs. Lois Gani, have a burning passion to help restore justice and righteousness in our nation, Nigeria, by raising righteous people in politics and governance using godly principles and patterns. It was this passion that led them to set up the Compatriots for Greater Better Nigeria Initiative, a non-governmental organization for the purpose of achieving these objectives. Now, I want to invite them to come forward to speak on behalf of government. Let's receive him. Yeah, let's stand to our feet as we honor him.
Ladies and gentlemen, when I was invited to this summit, I was hesitant. I was reluctant to accept the invitation. But having thought over it, I decided to come to listen to the grievances of the participants. Yesterday, I was here and I listened to some of the grievances, and the grievances were genuine. But I want to thank the participants that in spite of their grievances, they decided to make efforts in reconciling their differences. It is again this background, while commending them for this excellent work, I also want to tender an apology on behalf of the successive governments of Nigeria, politicians, and civil servants. Of course, I was a career civil servant, and I got to the pinnacle of my profession in the service. I was involved in assisting the successive governments in the formulation of policies and their implementation. So I am part of the trouble that has befallen this nation. Since our independence 61 years ago, no sector in the Nigerian socio-political system has failed Nigerians and Nigeria more than the successive governments, politicians, civil servants of our nation, and also my generation. Our successive governments have woefully failed to create and define for us a national vision and purpose that serves as a rallying point that meets and satisfies the yearnings of the different peoples of our great nation, which is necessary to blend us into the people. One vision, one destiny, one heart, one voice. The resources available to government are more than enough for them to make Nigeria one of the greatest nations on earth. But government, politicians, civil servants, and my generation have woefully failed you Nigerians. We have brazenly continued to use the enormous resources of this great nation at our disposal to corruptly enrich ourselves and our cronies. The level of mismanagement of our God-given enormous resources by us has been unparalleled and shameful, to say the least. As we all know, Nigeria is one of the most endowed nations on earth in terms of human, natural, and material resources. Nigerians are among the most enterprising people all over the world in every aspect of life. However, Nigeria has not been able to provide the support system here that has enabled Nigerians to excel in their places. Instead of working to unite and create the unbeatable synergy of the many tribes of our great nation operating as one common, powerful entity, we have continued to pit you against one another by using religious and tribal sentiments and narratives to not just divide you, but even to the extent of making you to hate, kill, and destroy one another. So, in my capacity, as one who has served in all the levels of government, as a civil servant, as a politician, and on behalf of all these three sections of our nation, I stand here today before all of you Nigerians to apologize to you from the depths of my heart for our monumental failures towards you. I also deeply apologize to all of you Nigerians and render an unreserved apology to you all for all the terrible, indefensible pains, miseries, traumas, sufferings, injustices, lies, tortures, hunger, etc., that these three classes have caused you Nigerians. I ask for your forgiveness. However, this forgiveness does not mean that the law won't take its course in dealing with all those who have corruptly enriched themselves and broken our laws in one way or the other. At the dawn of our new nation, we enjoyed privileges that we now deny you. Instead of diligently deploying our resources to create a modern and prosperous nation, we have gone out of our way to make us one of the greatest data nations on earth. There are nations who are not as endowed as Nigeria, who are now counted among the greatest nations on earth. We have failed to provide even the most basic needs of security for lives and property, shelter, promotion of democracy and social justices, protection of human rights, etc. For these and more, I apologize to you, the youth, and the people of Nigeria for our monumental failures. Thank you.
Okay, let's respond, please. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm sure you'll agree with me that something monumental has happened. I'm above 50 years old, I told you yesterday. I have never ever in my life been in any meeting where this kind of thing has ever happened. I'm telling you the truth, never. I have never ever seen this kind of thing. And I'm so happy that I'm alive to see it. Nigeria will never ever be the same again. All right, so like we've been saying since this began and up till now, what has happened here before has never ever happened before. Yesterday we were talking with one of the delegates and he mentioned one of the laws of thermodynamics. You know, all objects continue in a stationary form, in a state of inertia until what happens? Until another force comes to what? Move it. And what we have done in these 2 days has moved Nigeria into a new direction. And we all are going to see the wonderful results of what we have done. You know, when I see Hajia, Hajarat, you know, the likes of Hajia, Hajarat, and all of you, you came from all over Nigeria. You paid the price because you believed in Nigeria. Like Dr. Ghani said, you had your grievances and you express them, but you express them with the heart of reconciliation. That is monumental. That is special. We have done something, people. We've done something. We've done something that has never been done before. And the results we'll see will be totally different from what we have been seeing. All of you know the popular quotation: you cannot continue to do the same thing and expect what? Different results. If you want different results, you must do something different. And that's what we have all done. Congratulations to all of us. Thank you, sir, for coming here to do what you've done. We really appreciate you. Let's give him another round of applause, please. Okay, we're going to have our final talk before lunch. And this talk is in your program. You can see the importance of values in building the new Nigeria of our dreams, a bottom-up approach from family to community to the nation. And we have in our midst a special lady who will give us this talk. Her name is Esther Dolong. I want us to appreciate her as she comes to the podium to make this presentation. Let's keep on clapping until she gets here. She's on her way. Let's encourage her. Don't be tired. She had to come from all the way behind.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. It's a great privilege for me to be here before you this afternoon, to be part of what looks small, but I think in the future, when we look back on it, we realize how many things were birthed out of today. And I also stand before you as a committed Nigerian. No plan B. We have to make it work. The issues in our nation have become very, very personal. There was a time when the breakdown seemed far from a lot of us, but it's become so close now, it's become so personal. As I stand before you right now, in the last 5 months, I can say that at least 4 members of my family were kidnapped. We all saw what happened at Greenfield University. And I don't know whether you remember, but after they killed the first 5 children, there was one particular child that was released on his own. That child was my nephew. My mother's sister was kidnapped sometime in April for about 2.5 weeks. And as I say this, I know that we all have our own stories, some worse than what I'm saying, some probably better in this particular thing. But I say this to say that the issues are close. We can no longer ignore them. They have become very, very personal. Now, whenever you see Nigerians gather, you can be sure that at some point the conversation is going to shift to the Nigerian condition. They're going to talk about the cost of fuel. They're going to talk about the power supply, the lack of water. They're going to talk about the insecurity, the way that people cannot go to the farms, the way that the architecture of our lives has changed so much in a way that we never ever imagined. We never ever imagined that just going out every day, even within the town, that we'd be wondering whether or not we'd come back home. So it's just like a calendar of woes. But in the midst of it, there's another narrative that rarely enters into the discussion of the Nigerian condition. And it's as important, and I think even more important, than the dominant ones that we talk about. And its consequences are even more important. And that narrative centers on the collapse of the value system. Can I have the PowerPoint? The collapse of our value system. And there's certain key areas in the country where the collapse of the value system is even more evident. Education. Education. I mean, it's gotten to the stage of where parents don't think twice about using underhand methods to get their children into school. There was this case of 2 university graduates, and both of them tried to sit the exam for their son to be sure that he passed his senior secondary school exams. And difficult to teach in his class. He was dismissed by the school because they said that because he refused to allow cheating, the results went down in the school and they lost their competitive advantage. They could not say to parents, our children who come through this school do so well because of this particular teacher. So a teacher who was doing the right thing lost his job. And I don't know whether you remember a former governor of the central bank saying that most of the people who look for employment are unemployable. I myself have had that particular problem. There was a particular project I was working on and I needed to take 2 human resource people. So I took 2 people who were managers in their own organizations. They had master's degrees. But after a month, I had to let them go. And I let them go because I realized that they were all bluff. But when it came to actually doing the work, they were not able to. They were not able to apply their degrees. They were not able to do what they had said to me that they were going to do. They just felt that they could just talk their way through, a lot of big language, but not actually able to deliver any results. And then you have, in universities, we've all seen the scandals that have happened where students have to offer something extra to get passed. Now, this is all part of the collapse of the value system. So it's really affected our education. Now, for example, if you have a student from Ghana or Uganda going abroad and they present their educational qualifications in countries like the UK or America, they will be accepted. But by the time you say that I have got these basic qualifications here in Nigeria, whether it's your first degree or whether it's a diploma, you'll find that you have to go through additional tests because our certificates no longer have any value abroad. And when you look at what used to happen in the 60s and the 70s, where people would actually come from other nations to come and be educated in Nigerian institutions, you can see how the erosion has affected us all. And then we can also talk about the judiciary. If most Nigerians don't even want to go to court, even when they're in their right and to exercise their rights, because the case will drag on for 3, 4, 5 years. The lawyers have become adept at using the judicial system to delay justice. And when you look at the cost of going through the court system, most people sit back and say, no, I'd rather not. I'd just try and see what I can do to settle outside. And then we have law enforcement. When we talk about law enforcement, how many people actually trust the police? How many people, when they see the policeman, feel, okay, this man has my back, he's in my corner, at least I can rely on him, I can trust him to look after the issues that have brought me, to the police station. We all know that. We all know how we feel about that. And then, because of the collapse of the value system, celebration of fraudsters. Many years ago, there's a celebrated historian, not just in Nigeria, but all across Africa and also in Europe, Professor Ade Ajayi. When he returned, he was feted. They came out in his village to welcome him. They did a welcoming procession line to him because they recognized the value that he was bringing to their community. But now we have people celebrating people, known criminals. As long as you have money, you will be celebrated. And passing the message on to the youth that it doesn't matter how you made the money, just as long as you actually get the money. You have people saying, when they see people who've held positions and maybe they didn't enrich themselves through that position, you have them saying that person was stupid. These are things that have become common and are reflective of where we are as far as our value system. So we have a generation growing up believing that this is the way things have always been done in Nigeria. Then I didn't put the medical industry, but it's been estimated by organizations such as USAID and DFID that 70% of the drugs in the Nigerian market are fake. 70% of the drugs in the Nigerian market are fake. And it's not that foreigners are sending fake medication into Nigeria. It is Nigerians going to create fake medicine. In fact, there's a particular blood pressure medication. I think it's Lonart. It's the most popular. Makers of the medication, when they realized how the fake one had infiltrated the market, they decided to escalate. They found out that the company making the fake Lonart has as its shareholders assembly. You know, when you let that sink for life, one of the things that affects me most is how easy it has become for Nigerians to kill each other. How easy it is to humanize each other. In fact, Abia State University, there were 2 students who were beheaded, and then their heads were used as goalposts while people watched and played football. That is where we have, that is where we have come to as a nation. It's the dimension of the collapse of the value system. So repositioning Nigeria is not limited to government action, but a whole basket of certain elements. Can I have the next slide? Is there any way in which you can make it a bit clearer? Yeah, okay. Slide. The next, no, let me have the next one. Okay. Now, when we talk about values, there are things that are difficult to see. So I'd like to use this particular diagram to explain what I'm talking about, and that is the iceberg. Many of you here have watched the movie called Titanic. Yes, okay. Now, the Titanic is a famous ship that was made, and the story around it was that it could not sink. But what sank the Titanic was not what they could see. It was what they could not see. And what is sinking Nigeria today is what we cannot see under the iceberg. And if you can see, the value system is at the bottom. It drives everything that is seen, that the behavior that is seen. And so dealing with that particular aspect of the individual and us as a collective requires a different kind of. Now, just to bring it home, I'm going to show you the difference that values have made to the progress of two particular nations. Can I have the slide on Ghana, on South Korea? Yes, okay. How the intangibles drive development and growth. Now, in the 60s, the next slide, please. Ghana, a researcher looked of Ghana and South Korea. So Ghana's per capita income at independence was equal to that of South Korea. And Ghana, with its Nigeria in the 60s, and a well-structured system, was seen as the most viable economy of the two. So if you were going to project and say that, okay, in 20, 30 years' time, which country is going to be more successful, everybody believed it was going to be. Now in Korea, 5 years after gaining independence from Japan in 1945, Korea was plunged. This war ended with the splitting of the country. Those two entities exist till today. North Korea, which is a government, and South Korea, that has a liberal economic outlook. All the economic indicators show that from the end of the war in 1953 to the early 1960s, South Korea was amongst the least developed countries in the world. And like most African countries then, was the annual inflation rate in South Korea was 22%, very high. Domestic savings about 4%, quite low. Investment ratio about 10%. Its GDP growth averaged 4.4%. Population growth was 3%. So because it was wholly lacking in natural resources, South Korea was considered the third poorest country in Asia. Exports were only 3% of GDP. 88% become an industrial giant. How many people in this room have a... Oh, only 2? Interesting. 3. Okay. Well, irrespective of the fact that there are only 3 people or 4 people or whatever in this room who have a Samsung phone. Samsung is the largest phone manufacturer in the world today. We see, could you leave the slide up? Could you leave the slide, please? Okay. We see on our roads cars. I personally drive Hyundai. And then you have industrial giants like Daewoo. Daewoo makes the best ships in the world. Better than in America, better than in the UK. And so it's become an industrial giant with one of the largest economies in the world, multinational corporations, major exports of cars, electronic equipment, and other sophisticated manufacturers. And it also has one of the best healthcare systems, and its per capita income approximates that of, and it has gone far in its quest to consolidate its democratic institutions. Now, no such change had occurred in Ghana. We're talking about like 96, just pre the turn of the century. But still, their per capita income is now about 1/15 that of South Korea's. And so when they looked at this, they said, what could account for this major difference between the two countries? What is it that happened? Because both countries have been recipients of foreign aid. Both countries have been recipients of different transformation agendas. But South Korea's story is so, and when I say culture, I'm not talking about, you know, I'm Hausa culture, this is the way we do it. I'm Igbo, this is the way we do it. This is the foods we eat. These are our rituals. We're talking about the way that things get done. And the foundational ingredient of any culture is the value system. The value system is the foundational ingredient. South Koreans valued hard work, they valued discipline, they valued savings, they valued family, they valued honesty, and they valued transparency. Your approach to life, where you place your energies, how you do things. One of the things about Nigeria is its low productivity. The employees have a very low productivity rate. I started off my career as a banker, and one of my clients was a Jewish man. And he came to Nigeria to live. And he came because there were a lot of companies in America that were looking to outsource certain elements of their business to other countries. So on paper, Nigeria was the obvious choice. First and foremost, most people speak English, so there was no language. It was diverse. If he gives a worker in Mauritius something to do, and worker in Nigeria the same thing to do, the worker in Mauritius will produce 5 times more in one day. And so for him, it was something that he couldn't quite understand, that what's going on. And it comes back again to the value system, because the value system will determine how you order your mind, how you apply yourself, how you apply your energies, and the amount of focus and to the work, and how important that you actually think the work is, whether you get any gratification from hard work. So I started off by giving a very graphic national example of the importance of values. And you know, we've assumed that economic reform will help position Nigeria in the place where it should be, given the potential. But the elements that make any nation great, economic reforms are good, but they're not good enough to change a nation. Any nation that wants to be great has to be established upon enduring national values that bind every individual in the corporate entity that we call Nigeria today. So there has to be a restoration of values. And I think I'll just read it out without going to the PowerPoint, because normally I do the PowerPoint myself, so I'm able to flick backwards and forwards easily. When you look at societies that have gone down in history, you find that there's 7, they call them the 7 deadly sins. And they are wealth without work, pleasure without conscience, science without humanity, knowledge without character, politics without principle, commerce without morality, worship without sacrifice. Now, in what I've said so far, I've covered quite a few of these 7 deadly sins, and we can see how they are alive and living in our nation today. So in reshaping the value system, it has to start at the individual level before it takes root at the collective. And the obvious place to start is in the family. Okay, these are the kind of values that we have to bring back, and that we have to show people the merit of hard work, integrity, honesty, accountability, and making money through work. So in starting at the family, we have to look at the importance of the family. There's some slides on the importance of the family towards the end. Could I have those? They're the first place where children learn how to manage their emotions, interact with others, and communicate. It's also the first thing where children will learn about consequences, either positive or negative. And parents are responsible for guiding their children, providing life lessons that will be remembered for years to come. And they form a big part of a person's worldview and how they believe that the world will act and how they believe the world works. Personally, a lot of how I live and what my priorities have come from the shaping lessons that my parents imbibed into me. I'm sure most of you will agree. Okay. Let me just make this a little bit interactive and throw it out and get some responses from you. From what I've said, would you believe that that's an accurate picture of where we are as a nation? What are the kind of values, apart from the ones that I have mentioned, that you feel need to be embedded into the nation at this particular time? like I said, one of the things that worries me most is the way that we have lost our common humanity, our common value for each other, and our respect for each other. So going back to the family, families teach values. Along with life lessons, people learn a value system within their family structure. They learn what their family defines as right or wrong, as well as what's important to the community. These values become ingrained and form a foundational part of a person's identity. They affect how you treat each other, how they view themselves, and how they see their purpose in life. Healthy families also form the backbone of a healthy society. When the families are strong, communities are strong. That naturally leads to a strong society. And a strong society is deeply invested in the strength of families because there's a domino effect. If families aren't doing well, a nation will suffer. If families are happy and healthy, the nation benefits. And focusing on the family, because oftentimes when we look at the problems of Nigeria, it seems so big, and we're sort of waiting for government to act. But one of the foundational principles of successful nation building is taking personal responsibility. And part of taking personal responsibility is looking at your own sphere, what you can control, what you have authority over. And in the family space, we all have authority. And we can begin to apply some of the things that we have heard in places like this and in other places. So now that we've seen the importance of values, interestingly enough, most people have not taken out time to find out what their values are, to intentionally discover what their values are. So there's an exercise that I think that we should probably go through. And there's a family values worksheet, which I'll make available to the organizers of the conference, and they can send out to you on your email, on your respective emails. It's a good exercise to do as a family, to involve your children, to decide what we stand for. And how do we express who we say we are or what we believe? So I think if you can pull up the worksheet, there's a worksheet. If you go, yes. The next slide. Okay, it's not showing. Okay. Beliefs and action. And I'm going to just give you 2 or 3 examples just to kickstart the process. For example, you might say that one of my strongest values is the importance of family. And then you'd have to articulate why you believe family is important. It could be if I have a strong family, and if my family is healthy, then I'll have the necessary emotional support that I need to face life's challenges. That could be the belief. And so the actions you take that support that belief could be that I make it a priority to at least have 2 hours every day with my family, and every weekend to go out and do something together that will make us bond and that will bind us. That's just an example. Or you could say that one of my values is making a difference. What's the belief that supports that? With a little effort that I put into someone's life, it can make a difference. So what are the actions that I do Maybe I volunteer. Maybe I feed the homeless. Maybe I go to an orphanage and I help out. These are, so it helps you be more specific. It takes it away from the abstract and brings it into practical day-to-day actions that take. So on that line, I'd like a couple of you to share what you think are the three strong. I think there's a list of values that we can look at. Keep going. Balance, time, commitment, compassion, understanding, competence. These are things that you hold dear and that guide you and that you think are important. So could I hear from a couple of people? Okay.
Yes, I'm Muhammad Alfa Muhammad. One, transparency. In whatsoever I do, even if me, I try the possible best within myself to be transparent, to show I have done it the way it's supposed to be done. And accountability also.
Sir, could you remove your mask? Why? Because it's a bit
Then
muffled.
accountability also, it works with transparency. Then commitment.
Why would, let me just stop you there. Why is transparency important to you?
Yes, I find it very hard first when I started working with an NGO in Mina, where even if it is 5 naira, you have to account for it. If it is water you take, how to explain that was very hard to me. And I got to understand through training that it's very important when you want to build a strong society that fights all means of corruption. You need to be transparency enough so that everyone should trust whatsoever you do. So I got to understand it's very important, and in whatsoever I do and whosoever I met, I tried the person for it to understand there is that need and important for we to be transparent to each other, to whatsoever we do.
Okay.
Yes.
And so what behavior, if you were to summarize, what behavior have you been practicing that shows that transparency?
Yes. From family. In my family, we're a family of 8, but the eldest is currently not with us. I am like the one taking charge as the main child. Others are the other gender, that's the opposite gender, the females. At home, there are things that are expected to be done, ought to be done, and as the one in charge, I took charge doing it, and I make sure they knew how it is being done, and I put them through the processes I have gone through to do it. Also, this program, coming up, this program, of everything that has been going on in this program, after yesterday's program, I have to report back to my own organization I am coming from, and I representing them here. I report a bit by bit of whatsoever it is happening here to them. This I try my possible best. So even without their presence here, they are feeling the impact of what I'm learning from this place. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Anybody else? Okay, there's a gentleman here in the front. Okay, yes, quality.
Good day, everyone. Ma, just one question to clarify what I saw on the screen. Is it competency or contency?
Sorry?
one of the values that was stated. Is it competency or contency?
I can't. Sorry, could you put that slide back up? I think it's the one before.
Okay.
Competence.
Competence. Okay. In my family, for example, we are known for compassion. We are very compassionate. I was raised by six elder sisters, and I am the 8th child. I have a younger brother. I have a younger elder brother. My mom didn't do much job raising me because I had so much and more matured elder ones. So while growing up, I noticed the way they all helped each other to grow. At some point, some material things automatically became luxury. So I watched my elder ones stripped off for the younger one to attend something. So it went on like that. If in a family that love is a keyword, understanding flows automatically. Then again, it's competency. I can proudly say that I have a way of putting out my own personally competency out there. I don't start what I know I can't finish, or I'm not even sure if I can or cannot finish. I'm good at whatever I said I'm good at, and I bring out my best there. Then accountability. I think in that aspect, that is where it falls somehow, because of the too much compassion and the other one that is always competent, carrying the thing. Now it's so difficult that the little duty that was delegated to the little ones or even the senior one to handle, the person might not deliver because there is one that is a chairman in that department, and no one is holding anybody accountable for it because there is always somebody to handle it if the other person is not delivering. So that part, I said that's where we wave around. Sometimes I'll just get real angry, like, okay, if this person is not doing what they asked him or her to do, the person should pay for not doing that thing. You don't have to pick up another person's responsibility without holding that person accountable. It doesn't make the person grow at all. The person will keep doing it. And currently, I'm telling you, there are a lot of people there that are still like that, including in my family. We have one or two of them that we can't even hold accountable like that. But because of the way we love each other, we just cover up and carry everybody along. So even my younger brother, sometimes it would be as if I should just slit his throat, but what can I do? What can I do? And there are some places that he will be so well up and right, but that's where compassion. I think we should try and balance compassion and accountability, because when you love somebody so much, you start seeing accountability as maltreatment. You start seeing yourself as holding somebody responsible as maltreatment. No, let that person know that whatever you've done or whatever you intend doing is not right. Everybody should be held accountable of their acts and intentions. Thank you.
Thank you. Very important. There's some people with their hands up. Sorry?
Yes. The list of values that was displayed here, to do a mental judgment which is more important than the other, but I got to find out that they are critically important from the family even to nation building. But if we must do an itemization, for me, I think understanding is one value that has been underrated. Most of the conflicts we have in Nigeria is because of lack of basic understanding. Most people go to places, most people are in jobs that they don't even understand the core values, the core goals of that job. They're just going in because they heard that the salary is mouth-watering, or that they heard that the perks, the benefits are mouth-watering, but they do not understand the basic essence. If I must give an example, we have a commission in Nigeria that is, the name just skipped my head now, but it's supposed to be the gap between public servants and is it they are supposed to be the one holding civil servants accountable during if they err in their duties. But you get to find out that the people that finally Nigerians will say, are there not people there? Most of them are not doing the core reasons because they see the public servants as their colleagues. They are fellow colleagues. So if you go to report that you went to a ministry and that they are selling a form that is supposed to be free, instead of them giving you a complaint form, they are now trying to explain to you why that thing happened there. And most times we get to find out that understanding is not there. People do not understand why they are where they are. If we had an understanding, most people will be doing the right things. So I think for us to build our nation better, we need to push understanding. There has to be orientation, there has to be information, there has to be communication for us to understand ourselves. From there, we can now start to ask for accountability. We can now start to ask for transparency. I cannot be transparent in a thing I don't really understand. That is why most of us cannot qualify for international positions. Because when United Nations come and start asking you for budgets, for detailed work plan, detailed activities, qualifications, most of the organizations in Nigeria cannot meet up because we don't even understand why you are asked for a particular certification for a particular role. But we give it to our younger brother, we give it to our cousin, we give it to somebody who probably may physically do the job, but does not have the paper qualifications. And we want to disregard paper qualifications. So in my own thinking, understanding is key before we ask for these other values. Thank you.
Okay, I think we'll take two more and then one lady, one man.
Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so two of the values that I would say I hold dear as a result of family molding and all of the teachings that my parents were able to imbibe in me is commitment and integrity. Commitment in the sense that like a total dedication, a wholesome dedication to a cause. My dad goes as far as telling you that as long as something is being handed over to you, you are obligated by all means to be committed to doing that. And then he goes as far as telling you that commitment is what brings out the expertise in you. When you dedicate yourself towards achieving a particular goal, and then as you do it off and on, you find out that you can easily do these things without much stress. He will tell you, even if it means doing a cobbler's job, that's a shoemaker, commitment, you can become an expert in it, and you will excel so well. And then going to integrity. My dad taught me so much about integrity, even onto the part that if you're giving money, let's say someone gives you 2,000 naira in 1,000 naira currency to hold for you, and then you're returning the money in 50 naira. He says you don't have integrity. It means that you have used that money and then you're replacing it. So it's gone as far as giving exactly what you're being given to hold on to. And then that part of commitment is what has added to the drive I had with my passion. Adding commitment to a passion. I work with an NGO, an advocate of menstrual health and hygiene. I'm a period mentor. And because of the passion and the commitment I have given into that work, I do a lot of free services. I go on volunteering just because of the love and then for the fact that I am committed to that cause, because I understand the degree of impact that I make through the commitment to a particular cause. So it's not just about having to do something, but dedicating yourself wholesomely to achieving what you have decided to go with. Thank you.
Thank you. One more.
The value I cherish and I see the one is not added here is self-development. Self-development and responsibility. The more you accommodate responsibility, value to yourself. And self-confidence always gives you ground of training. You always train your mind to face reality. In anyhow the way it comes, you face it and you always succeed. Let me say, you should always try to all matters arising. This is my submission.
Thank you. Thank you. As when we talk about values, we also have to talk about the obstacles to living your values. You know, there's some very real obstacles in society to living out your values. One of the things that intentionally committing to live out your values, and I would encourage you to adopt, to recognize the small incremental steps that you take. Pick a particular area that you want to develop, a particular value that you know you're lacking, or that you're not as strong as that you would like to be. And pick some very, very small actions that you can commit to. And you'll find that it's like an internal muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it becomes. And then you find that you will have the strength to say no, or to go against what everybody else is doing. Because in your workplace, for example, if you're in a workplace where there's so many gray areas, people are used to doing certain things, and you decide that you want to be different in that particular area, your colleagues are not necessarily going to make it easy for you. You're going to feel very odd. You're going to feel very, very shunned. But the stronger you are inside, the easier it is to stand. And the strength will come from the commitment. It's like going to the gym and you want to lose a certain amount of weight. You're not going to lose all that weight in one day. You're not going to build all that muscle in one day, but it's the daily repetition. The daily repetition. It's almost like drops of water, and the drops of water get bigger and bigger and make an ocean. I want to, what the gentleman said about understanding. One of the challenges that we have is in promoting this kind of work and the need for this kind of work. We've got to create a clear line of sight for people to see the consequences of their actions. Like you were saying, people don't understand. People don't also see how the daily decisions and the daily choices that they're making are contributing to the mess that we find ourselves in. And it's actually displacement therapy. If you get a critical mass of people or a critical mass of actions, that will create the tipping point that we need to see a new kind of behavior, to see a new normal, because this is about creating the new normal. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm coming to the end of my time with you. This is a topic that demands days for you to go into the nitty-gritty of it. It's almost like a recreation of yourself and a recreation of the nation. But I hope I've been able to communicate to you the importance of values in national development and the importance of living a values-driven life. Thank you very much for your time.
Please let's appreciate Ms. Esther Dolong again. Thank you very much. That was a very wonderful and interactive session. Indeed, values are important from the grassroots level, family to nation building. And if we must see a new Nigeria, we must get our values right. And speaking about values, and I'm happy that most of us talked about commitment. I want you to just look at the seat next to you. Is somebody seated there? Is the person that is supposed to be on that seat, are they there? Are they seated? I see empty seats though. Do you see? Quite a number. I mean, we've come all the way for this purpose. So please, let's do our best to be committed to it till the end. Do we promise to be committed to this to the end? All right, that's good. We the people of Nigeria. That's great. We are really, really committed. Well, I really want to appreciate all the subgroups that came out for the apologies. And I tell you, it's a very beautiful one. It just took me down the memory lane. Rwanda, for instance, is held up as a model for reconciliation for nation. 26 years after the genocide that began on the 7th of April, a Thursday, 1994. And the accounts from those 100 days were jarring in the intimacy of the brutality when neighbors turned against each other, family members against her own people, and about 800,000 Tutsis were dead alongside 10,000 of Hutu. Now, 2.5 decades later, Rwanda still managed to hold on to the peace it forged for itself. What did they do? A reconciliation, healing, and forgiveness process. They made use of a traditional dispute resolution forum to bring perpetrators face to face with their victims and the borders community to confess and ask for forgiveness. And guess what? According to Bloomberg, Rwanda and 6 other African countries are amongst the world's 10 fast rising economy in the year 2020, despite the pandemic. How are they able to achieve this and move past all that has happened? They reconciled. So I want you to give yourselves a round of applause for representing every subgroup in here that have come forward to apologize, to admit the grievances. We're doing great and we're on the right path to greatness. I have a few announcements here just before we're getting ready for lunch, right? We're getting ready for lunch. But here I have a few announcements I'm going to be dishing out. All delegates are encouraged to collect their pictures while we're on the break, your lunch break. Some of the pictures are out there in the foyer. Make do to pick them up. Now, the next session that will be happening is very, very important. And I want to lay emphasis on the issue of commitment again as a value. We're going to be deliberating and discussing on the new Nigeria of our dream. Please, if you know the person who is supposed to be sitting on any of the MC seats close to you, please reach out to them and make sure that they make their way into the hall for that. We do not want to miss it. And also, please, let's collect our meals and come in here, all right? And priority will be given to delegates. Please ensure that you go there with your tags. It's very important. Do not lose it, all right? I think that's about it for now. Okay, I have an interesting one here too. If you do not have Wi-Fi internet in your room, please kindly refer to the front desk officer. I'm sure the youths will be excited about that. Am I correct? Give yourselves a round of applause, please. Right. All right. So we would have 45 minutes for the lunch break. Please, we need to keep the time. 45 minutes for the lunch break. And while you're having your lunch, I would advise that groups should please, if you want to sit together over lunch so that you can conclude on your presentation and the person presenting for you as well. Okay, we have to confirm if lunch is ready. I'm sorry if I've lifted your spirit about the food. Let's just calm down small. We're almost there. Okay, so while we will be having lunch, if it's ready now, please subgroups meet with each other, conclude so that your presentation can be apt. If you notice, we've been very good with our time today. I don't think we would, stay as long as we did yesterday. So a round of applause for every one of us. We're all doing great. A new Nigeria is happening, indeed. Also, you can enjoy the garden, a live band, and the rest, with the exception of the pool. If you want to swim, you will pay, okay? But at least there's the garden, you could relax, take in fresh air, and all of that. There's live band. That sounds interesting. All right, and do not forget, all delegates are encouraged to always put on their face masks during this session. All right, and also keep the conversation going across all social media platforms using the hashtags that have been posted on the WhatsApp of your subgroups. You can also share the streaming link as well on Facebook and on YouTube.
Lunch is not yet ready. It's supposed to be at 2 o'clock. It will still take place at 2 o'clock. So what we're going to do now, we will do what we're supposed to do immediately when we come back from lunch. The first part, if you turn to your program, when we come back, you're supposed to have group deliberations, discussions on the new Nigeria of our dream. All right, so you can do that now so that when we come back from lunch, you will now begin to share as a group. Oh, it's ready? Okay.
Lunch is ready. Who's coming to dinner? Okay, it's lunch. Who is coming to lunch?
Okay, so you can go for lunch now. And then please, let's be prompt. 5 minutes to do that. We have lots of things to do. Today is the last day. So please eat your lunch quickly and come back. We have 45 minutes to do that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a nice lunch.
Our land, where there's hope for us all. And we know we'll get there. We'll defend our land. We believe in Nigeria and the promise she holds. And on one day we'll shine like the sun. We're a great nation. Though we are many people, different tribes, different tongues, where you're in our strength and resolve to uphold the honor of our land and for generations to come. And for generations to